So I mentioned the internet at the top of the show today. I haven't really explained why yet. But I saw this delicious little bit of commenting on the internet today. And I saw this article here from The Guardian. The Guardian is like, it's this, it used to be a publication. It's tabloid-esque, right? It's not quite National Enquirer, but it's The Guardian from the UK. Platforms, the coverage of U.S. elections have crystallized the longstanding concerns about content on X. Twitter X, they say. And The Guardian has announced it will no longer post content on X from its official accounts. In an announcement to its readers, the news organization, and I use that term very loosely, news organization, said it considered the benefits of being on the platform formerly called Twitter, outweighing the negatives, citing the often disturbing content found on X. I don't know what this disturbing content is, but apparently it's there. We wanted to let our readers know. We will no longer post on any official Guardian editorial accounts on the social media site X. The Guardian has more than 80 accounts on X with 27 million followers. The Guardian said content on the platform about which it has long-standing concerns included far-right conspiracy theories and racism. It added that the site's coverage of the U.S. presidential election had crystallized its decision. See, X doesn't cover anything. The site's coverage. No, you see, everybody gets to say what they think on X. Something we've been considering for a while, given the often disturbing content promoted or found on the platform, including far-right conspiracy theories and racism. Again, the U.S. presidential election served only to underline what we have considered for a long time, that X is a toxic media platform. That its owner, Elon Musk, has been able to use its influence to shape political discourse. You mean like Facebook and Twitter did in 2020, along with every other social media outlet on the planet. TikTok, for example. Those are perfectly fine. But gosh darn it, you push back with one person from the right and they're going to scream bloody murder. In fact, I've got something for you here. Here's somebody else who says they're leaving X, and I say, nobody's even going to notice. But Don Lemon is so self-absorbed, the former Chicken Noodle News anchor who was tossed out in disgrace. Now he's leaving X. Do you care? I mean, here he is.
I have loved connecting with all of you on Twitter and then on X for all of these years. But it's time for me to leave the platform. I once believed that it was a place for honest debate and discussion, transparency and free speech. But I now feel it does not serve that purpose. In addition, starting this Friday, November 15th, X is implementing new terms of service, which among other things states that, quote, all disputes be brought exclusively in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas, end quote. The full terms of service can be found on my written statement or on the X website. Now, as the Washington Post recently reported on X's decision to change the terms, this, quote, ensures that such lawsuits will be heard in courthouses that are a hub for conservatives, which experts say could make it easier for X to shield itself from litigation and punish critics. I think that speaks for itself. You can find me on YouTube at The Don Lemon Show, or on TikTok and Facebook at Don Lemon. And on
nobody
Instagram
cares,
and Blue
Don.
Sky
All right, you're boring me, son. You're boring me. Run along.
I
Nobody
hope
cares.
you will join me there.
Nobody cares. I'm not going to join you. Look, listen to the stampede of people getting to YouTube immediately for the Don Lemon. Please. You can go to YouTube and get the Steve Gruber channel. That's what you should do. Get actual news and information. By the way, I think we put up that great 21-minute documentary on Western North Carolina and the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. I believe you can find that over there. Let's shift gears a little bit. Remember Chuck Schumer? Remember him? Soon to be former Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, that guy? The guy that threatened Donald Trump with what the intelligence community could do to him. The guy that threatened directly justices of the United States Supreme Court. Well, now he wants to be Mr. Nice Guy. Sorry, Chuck. I play it just so you understand the gall of Chuck Schumer. Listen.
Let me turn to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Another closely contested election now comes to an end. To my Republican colleagues, I offer a word of caution in good faith. Take care not to misread the will of the people, and do not abandon the need for bipartisanship. After winning an election, the temptation may be to go to the extreme. We've seen that happen over the decades, and it's consistently backfired on the party in power.
Shut up, Chuck.
So instead of going to...
What's up, Chuck? Up, Chuck. That's what I want to do when I hear that guy talk. Up, Chuck. All right, forget about him. Disingenuous piece of garbage. That's what that is. All right, so Senator John Thune promised no delays in pushing through Donald Trump's agenda. That's what should be front of mind right now. Here he is. I want you to hear it. It's important. Listen.
Choosing nominees who will pass Senate confirmation.
Well, as you know, the Senate has a advise and consent role under the Constitution, so we will do everything we can to process his noms quickly, get them installed in their position so they can begin to implement his agenda.
So there you have it. He says they're going to push the nominations through quickly and get it handled and be done with it. All right, we'll see. Because if not, there are ways around a roadblock. If you didn't know, J.D. Vance can take things over if John Thune isn't doing what the president wants and pushing forward his agenda. Listen to this.
Own procedure in the Senate that gives the majority leader the right to be recognized on the floor first. Who decides to recognize them? The person sitting in the chair at the front of the room. That chair belongs to J.D. Vance. Anybody else sitting in that chair is borrowing his seat. He can walk in the room, kick them out, take the seat, and recognize whoever he wants who is going to move President Trump's nominees. So he can actually decide really who's running the show.
Yeah, he can decide who's running the show. Pretty remarkable. So J.D. Vance is the president of the Senate. So if John Thune, for example, blocks legislation or won't lead on legislation, J.D. Vance can walk in the room and say, you're in my chair. We have a list of things we need to get done today, and you're not getting it done, so you're out, I'm in. So your Senate Majority Leader really is, in effect, J.D. Vance, if they're so inclined. I mean, the Senate Majority Leader is not anything enshrined in the Constitution like Speaker of the House. It's something that's been created by the Senate as a body over the decades. So keep your eyes peeled, friends.